In the UK now, the contest to succeed Boris Johnson as British Prime Minister is down to two candidates. As VOA's Henry Ridgwell reports from London, policy towards China has become a key issue on the campaign trail.
Chancellor Rishi Sunak and the current Foreign Secretary Liz Truss are vying to take over from Boris Johnson, who resigned as Prime Minister earlier this month. Fewer than 200,000 Conservative Party members will vote to choose Britain's next Prime Minister in the coming weeks. Taxation and inflation have dominated the domestic agenda, but on foreign policy, China has dominated. In a recent televised debate, Truss said she would crack down on Chinese-owned companies like TikTok.
And we should be limiting the amount of technology exports we do to authoritarian regimes.
The Foreign Secretary pledged a tougher stance against Beijing.
After the appalling abuses in Xinjiang, after the terrible actions on Hong Kong, and the most recent outrage, which is China working with Russia and essentially backing them in the appalling war in Ukraine, we have to take a tougher stance.
Truss's rival, Rishi Sunak, has called China the #1 threat to domestic and global security.
And as Prime Minister, I'll take a very robust view on making sure that we do stand up for our values and we protect ourselves against those threats, because that's the right thing to do for our security.
The candidates are appealing to a particular electorate, notes analyst Steve Sang.
The Conservative Party members are more concerned about China policy than the general public in the UK as a whole. And this, I think, is the reason why the two Prime Minister contenders engage in a debate on China, but they were only focused on one single issue: who is softer on China, rather than what the UK's China strategy should be.
Matching policies as Prime Minister with the rhetoric of the campaign may be a challenge, says Zhang.
Some commitments can be achieved relatively quickly. For example, the closing of Confucius Institutes articulated by Sunak. The real issue here is whether Liz Truss will, as Prime Minister, repeat what she had said. If she continues to use the description genocide on Xinjiang, it's going to make relationship between the UK and China very difficult indeed.
Beijing criticised the language used in the British leadership debate.
I would like to urge certain British politicians not to make an issue out of China or hype the so-called China threat.
The result of the vote will be announced September 5th.